Hey, what's going on, guys? All right, I'm back for session number 3 in the recruiting process. So, obviously, just a quick recap. We've gone through, the cost of a bad hire, the value of a good hire, having a line item in your budget for recruiting for people, for your team, right? Your team members, having time set aside, where to look, and what some of those different sources look like, what a good ad should sound like and look like to attract the right kind of people. So we've gone through a lot of the detail. This will be our last video on the actual recruiting process. And really, we're going to talk about what's going to attract the right kind of people to your business. And I'm going to start at number one, which what I believe nowadays, 2019, is one of the biggest reasons why someone chooses a company is culture. I was thinking about the NFL. There are 32 teams in the NFL, but there's one team in particular that every player at some point wants to get a call from. And it's the Patriots. Now, look, I'm not a Patriots fan just by nature, but man, what an amazing culture. They have a culture of success, a culture of work ethic, a culture of winning, a culture of it being a team effort. There's no, prima donna on the team. It's a team effort, and Bill Belichick makes that very clear. You've seen him more than likely get rid of some superstars because they wanted to be superstars, not a part of a team, and do their job. That winning culture creates an environment where you don't have to work very hard because people are flocking to you. So what kind of a culture, and Jack's going to create some more videos on culture, what kind of a culture are you creating in your business? I have a very good friend of mine, Terry, who has a business, an HVAC business in Millbrook, Alabama. An amazing culture. There's several events throughout the year for families to come together in this company, have a blast, hang out, get to know each other. They are more like family than they are like team members. He cooks out for them. He'll pick a day in the week when they're hitting their numbers and he'll cook them breakfast on the grill, right? He will cook them steaks on the grill. He is creating a culture that we're a family, that we're going to win together. He's creating a culture of success and measurables, right? So people are attracted in 2019 to the culture of our business. Again, what kind of culture are you creating? What kind of culture are you communicating, right? Are you casting a vision for these recruits about the culture of your business? A winning culture, a family culture. Number 2 is compensation. I just read the book, I Quit, but I forgot to tell you. And one of the things the author mentioned is that people will come to work for you for compensation/commission, but they will stay for compassion. That kind of ties down to number 6 right there. They want to feel valued. They want to feel heard inside the organization. They want to have a voice inside the organization. They want to feel valued. So they will come for the compensation. They stay for compassion. One of the things that she mentioned in the book was that life and business are going to cross, right? Your people that are on your team, your family members, right? Freddie's family, they all have families too. And life is going to intersect business. It's going to happen. And as owners and managers, we've got to be able to adapt to those types of conversations. So, compensation. Let's go back to that. I got off track there for just a second with that book that I read, but there's some message there about people wanting to feel valued and be a part of something, a family, a unit, a successful culture, right? With a successful mindset. Compensation attracts people. The reality is that there are some that are absolutely economically driven. Now, again, this is where the profile is so important. A lot of plumbers, based on my experience, when you look at their profile, economic is not typically their number one motivator. There are typically other things like regulatory and theoretical and political and maybe altruism that are their top motivators. But here's the deal. People do want to be paid what they are worth. So compensation plans can be a big part of someone deciding or not deciding to come to work for you. How are you creating vision? How are you communicating the compensation? You know, the reality is the way we should be communicating it, you'll be paid exactly what you're worth, because everything we do here is based solely on your performance. And the better you perform, the more you will make. So compensation is a big part of finding the right people. Number 3, I think, is a lot bigger than what we can possibly even imagine. And it's just growth opportunity. People nowadays are looking for an opportunity to grow. And it may not be that they move into a management role, but maybe it's that you make an investment in them and you send them to training. And you make an investment in them on a weekly basis, which we'll talk about this here in a few days. And you have a training session with your team and you show them some of the videos from training, and you go through the 52-week training module that we have on Frank Connect. You make an investment in them, which is growing them, helping them to get better, which helps, go back to number 2, them make more money, if that's what really motivates them, right? So is there growth opportunity? I will tell you that almost every decision I've ever made has been about growth, not about the financial outcome. In my mind, if I am in a position where I'm growing in my career and doing what I'm really good at, the compensation is going to take care of itself. I will make the money I need to make, but I want to grow my career. That's been my focus for 20 some odd years. And obviously, you know, at 46 years old now, I'm sitting here as president of a brand, and in my brain, I'm thinking, how do I now grow this brand? How do I grow Freddie? How do I grow Blue Frog Plumbing and Drain? It's all about growth. And so just know, a lot of those team members that you interview, and by the way, this will pop up in the profile, which we'll talk about on another session, a lot of them are attracted to an opportunity to grow their career. Maybe become a team leader one day. Maybe become an operations manager one day. Maybe become VP of ops. Maybe become VP of sales. Growth opportunities attract people. Benefits. What? Benefits? I'm a new business. I know. There are a lot of creative ways to get creative with benefits. One of the things that we did at the company I worked for just prior to here, we were a small business. You know, when I started with Service Excellence Training, there was 2 of us, me and Todd and Shannon, his wife. Now they're a much bigger company. But obviously in a small business, it just wasn't feasible for him to be able to provide me health insurance and those types of things. So instead, what we did is we created a metrics of revenue and growth and profitability. So it was all about performance. We created a matrix, and if I hit that matrix, if I went above that goal, he would then pay for my insurance. What I did, I went out and found my own insurance, right? With a good monthly premium, a good deductible, and all I had to do was hit my targets. And if I hit my targets, I knew he'd take care of the insurance cost. There's all kinds of ways to get creative when it comes to benefits. We just have to think outside of that box sometimes on how we can do that. And listen, benefits isn't just health insurance, right? Benefits might be work-life balance. One of the things that we did in the heating and air conditioning company that I worked for is, you know, it's heating and air conditioning, it's Texas. So we know that we were going to be slammed 7 days a week in the summer in Texas. So we would have our technicians on rotating schedules. We'd have a shift of technicians that worked from 7 a.m. until after lunch. And then we had a group that came in around lunch and worked later in the day. That way they weren't all having to work 12, 14, 16-hour days. We had a crew that was designated for Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday shifts. And they rotated with another crew. People in 2019, I mean, it's life is busier than it's ever been for most of us. And, you know, like my family, my daughters are both in dance, and one of them's in basketball and dance. So life is busy, and work-life balance can be really important. Are you painting a picture? Are you casting vision on how not only do we want to be successful, have a success culture and a performance-based culture, not only do we want you to have growth opportunity and these benefits, But we want you to have a good, solid work-life balance too. Are we casting that vision on how we're going to do that for these team members? I mean, think about it. Someone that is similar to your top performer, these are the things they're looking for. Are you casting a vision? So that's a real core philosophy about everything we're talking about today. Are you casting a vision to these recruits about the culture of your company, of success and growth and performance and client focused? By the way, you can be client focused and success focused at the same time, because the better we serve the client, the more successful we are, right? So creating a culture, a vision of that culture of being paid for how you perform, a performance-based pay mentality and culture. Are we communicating the opportunity to grow with our company? There might be someone in your organization that is so special that at some point you think about a small equity position for that person. At some point, you might even say, you know what? There's a possibility we could do a second location down the road, and I'd be happy to partner with you on that location. And you set the matrix up of what do we got to do to get there, right? And now that person's motivated and fired up because they see the vision of growth opportunity for them inside your company. So there are a lot of different reasons why people are attracted to our business. I think it's really important that we don't just focus on the compensation. That is a part of why people come to work for you, but it is only a part. There is so much more to it. I left a company that I probably could have stayed at for the rest of my career. I would have been comfortable. I would have made probably $150,000 to $200,000 a year, somewhere in that ballpark, coaching at that other company and leading the team at that other company. I came here because I knew there was a tremendous growth opportunity. That was the one big thing for me. In my brain at 46 years old, I was thinking about equity, future equity opportunities. Those were the things that were going through my head, and this just made sense. So you never know for the person that you're talking to, which of these things might be the things that attract them to your business. But what you do know is that you've got to cast a vision for your recruits in these key areas, because this is why people will come to work for you. And just as a reminder, we're in the people business. Doesn't matter how great the systems and processes are if we don't have great people. All right, I'm going to cut this video off. I think that's it. That's all we've got to cover on the recruiting process. I'm going to be diving into the hiring process next. We will take our time there because there's some very specific steps that we need to follow when it comes to the hiring process, especially when it comes to the profile. All right, that's it. We'll see you soon. See you next time. Have a great rest of your week.